Thank you, Newt. March 5th, 2026. Thank you so much, Miss FG. It was a rainy day today. I started at 8 a.m., but I didn't arrive until almost 10 a.m. because of heavy traffic. Your apartment has a very special design. 2 units step down and 2 step up from the same hallway. This layout gives each apartment the feeling of have 2 floors, which is architecturally interesting. However, it's also inconvenient for elderly residents. When I arrived, and you and a young man has just come back and were opening the door, it was clearly difficult for you to climb the 5 steps because of your leg. After I stepped inside, I learned that the young man was your neighbor, helping you moving fresh-washed laundry. You mentioned that it might be time to move out because of your husband has not been able to take care of himself since he fell several months ago. You said you may consider moving to Staten Island, depends on how his condition improves. You are very talkative. Our conversation naturally moved to the topic of education because you spent 25 years teaching pre-K in Chinatown. You spoke proudly about your daughter who worked at the paychecks, but you also expressed a little regret about your son who dropped out during his freshman year of college. Watching you carefully step up and down the stairs and listening to your story about your husband and your children, yes, it is the story of your life. But it is not only your story. Perhaps it reflects life of many people. So the question arises, what's the meaning of life? First, living in old age, raising children, or relying on a retirement plan. This is the topic that everyone will face sooner or later. A nursing home, living with one's children, or other options. An elderly relative of mine had repeated the same sentence for 10 years. When people get old, they are simply waiting for death. During these 10 years, he spent most of his days watching TV and using his smartphone. There was no pursuit, no real joy, only sighing and complaining as the days slowly passed. I do not want to judge whether it is right or wrong. However, waiting for death will never be an option for me. No matter how old I become, I do not want to spend my days doing nothing in a nursing home or anywhere else. I hope that the last moment of my life will be spent on a teaching platform, whether in a classroom or in an online class. Second, the length of life or the width of life. Master Yamin did not have a long life, and one might even say he did not die in the most peaceful way. Yet his life was profound and magnificent, and he has been admired by generations ever since. In text 49.7, he said, people value their physical life too heavily. They do not ask whether it is right to live or right to die, but only trying to every possible way to preserve life. In doing so, they abandoned the heavenly principle. Once a person violates the heavenly principle, what difference is there between that person and an animal? Even if someone lived for hundreds or thousands of years, without a heavenly principle, he is only an animal that has lived for hundreds or thousands of years. Yes, I am pursuing a life that is deeper and wider. Many thanks, Ms. FG. Waiting your apartment and hearing the story of your family has strengthened my determination about the way I want to live in my life. Thank you again.